So recap.
So as I was saying, I'm kind of at a crossroads. It's not like I'm not really depressed about it or anxious about it or any of those things. If everything went exactly as it's going right now forever, it'd be fine. You know, I have everything I need, nice relationships, etc. But right now, I'm trying to figure out what is it for me? What is there a purpose? Is there a kind of a work? Is there a vision I have? You know, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? And as an American citizen, as a taxpayer and a voter, you're always supposed to be doing something, right? And preferably something that makes money. Okay? And so that's kind of where I am. That's just to say this is where I'm coming from today. And so one of the things that I've been doing is the church that I normally attend and that I'm the president of the board of, we've been kind of traveling around. We haven't been having Sunday services, so we've been traveling around to different churches to see, you know, like what do they talk about? What are their services like? What, you know, how do they differ from us? And that's great. And I really resonated with a lot of the messages. But now you're like, well, why am I going to Unity? What's the deal? So I thought that for today I would start there. Like what are we trying to do here? And I got this wonderful, I was cleaning out a basket. And this basket had 12 kazoos and a stack of things from Hawaii.
Oh.
And one of the things from Hawaii was this from Unity of Honolulu. I guess, yeah. Which is a fabulous place. If you're ever going to go to Honolulu, go to Unity of Honolulu. It is the best place ever. And their little packet that they give visitors includes this Unity pamphlet, Unity, A Positive Path for Spiritual Living, which is they said a mouthful there. So here's the definition that's in this little thing. Unity is a positive, practical, progressive approach to Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer. Unity honors the universal truths in all religions and respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. And that sounds right to me. That's the thing that sounded right to me from the very beginning. And then Unity Worldwide Ministries has a little page where it says their vision. Oh, listen to this. Just, you know, put aside all the things that you know are going on in the world right now. And listen to this. Vision. A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Is that the most gorgeous thing you ever heard? I'm going to say it again. A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And then their mission statement is advancing the movement of spiritual awakening and transformation through unity, a positive path for spiritual living. So that's the basis of my talk today, is that what are these things that we can be doing to do that vision and to do that mission. So here comes my ad for truthunity.net. Truthunity.net, as I've said to you many times before, is a fabulous archive of old materials, old out-of-print books, sermons, lesson plans, syllabus, you know, all of those things, as well as recordings. But it's also Mark Hicks talking about unity. And I read I read two of his blogs this morning. Apparently, I now wake up at 5:45. This hasn't been happening in the past, but it's my new time. So I just decided this morning, my phone happened to be in my bedroom, which it hardly ever is. And so I looked at truthunity.net, and I started reading Mark Hicks's blogs, and they are really, really powerful. So he was talking about, one of the things he was talking about was how Charles Fillmore viewed unity in the relation to other Christian denominations. And so here's what he said. This is from Fillmore. Unity is a link in the great educational movement inaugurated by Jesus Christ. Our objective is to discern the truth in Christianity and prove it. The truth that we teach is not new, neither do we claim special revelations or discovery of new religious principles. Our purpose is to help and teach mankind to use and prove the eternal truth taught by the Master. And of course, Jesus' vision statement was found in John 10:10. I have come that they may have life and have it in its fullness. It's also, in some translations, have it abundantly. So that's what Jesus was all about. So I'm not going to tell you anything new religiously. What I'm going to tell you is some new stuff that expands on what we already know. Okay? So, science, a bunch of nosy people trying to figure out new stuff, trying to figure out how everything works, pulling everything apart, looking inside. Science has been working on the brain lately. And you've probably experienced some of this yourself. They'll take pictures of the brain, and they'll put you in a MRI, and they'll ask you questions, or they'll give you a certain stimulus or whatever, and see what happens. So I found this a couple of years ago. One of my Facebook friends put this chart up, and I found it again. And this is what we're gonna talk about today. Your brain. Okay, a lot of unity teaching is around the mind. Our minds together, the divine mind. So I want you to just for a second put aside the word mind and substitute the word brain. Okay? Your mind is actually a story that your brain is telling you. And what our brain is trying to do is protect us from danger, just like all the other animals, right? What we call lower forms of animals might just have instincts. They don't have thinking like we do. They're probably a little bit more fortunate than we are at sometimes. But what our brain is trying to do is find patterns. We're trying to match things up. This thing is like that thing, and that thing is dangerous, so I better, be on guard. We were talking about racism this morning on the drive in. This is the basis of racism. That person, my dad told me that person is to be avoided. You look like that, therefore you're to be avoided. That's what our brain's doing all the time, trying to find a pattern, trying to tell a story, and it's working like that when you don't even know. And so if we want to change that, if we want to change that pattern, Unity has wonderful tools such as prayer and meditation, affirmations and denials. That's what all of that is about. So even before we knew what was inside your brain, because we could take a picture of it, Myrtle Fillmore was talking to her cells and healing them. And that's the part where we're taking the teachings of Jesus Christ and we're proving them, right? I read this morning, Charles said Jesus didn't do any miracles. The disciples didn't do any miracles. They proved the principles that Jesus was teaching. They took the power that was all around them and directed it in a certain direction. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. Okay? Now, why aren't we? We're tired. Aren't you kind of tired?
Yeah.
There's a lot to hold up right now. You know, you get all this news about all these things that are going on and all these people who are struggling and, you know, I want to be an ally and all of that stuff. But, you know, there's also all these other people who are saying that cause is stupid, you know, and so we're tired a lot of the time. And we're preoccupied with our own life, all right? And I've said this a million times. What we call reality is very compelling, okay? Your story of what's going on in this room right now is convincing, isn't it? You believe that we're in a little room in a little hotel with several people who believe pretty much the way we do. There's love between us. It's a nice story, right? But there's not one single person in this room, there are not two people in this room who see this the same way, right? So everybody's brain is working on a different story. We're working with different eyes, different ears. Conscious, exactly. So, Jim,
Yes.
would you mind passing these out? So I want to talk a little bit about your brain because I think our secret weapon is happiness. Happiness. So I think the happier you are, the more effective you are. Now there's an old saying that there are more sad love songs than there are happy love songs because when you're happily in love, you don't have time to write. But I think this doesn't hold true for making a difference in the world. I think that the happier we are, the better we're going to serve others, right? So this little thing, I should have written, before I copied this, I should have written where it came from. If you want to write this down, it's from a website called Parkinson's, like Parkinson's disease, Parkinson's, NSW.org.au. It's from the Australian New South Wales Parkinson's Organization. And it has a lot of resources if you have Parkinson's, if you're taking care of somebody with Parkinson's, and you know, kind of how to take care of yourself. So on this, there are the 4 happiness hormones, what they call the happiness hormones. Everybody's got them, and they can be, the big news is it doesn't take an accident to get them activated, right? So I'm going to start with oxytocin, which is the love hormone. And so this is in your brain right now. And if you want to feel more love, and I think in the case of love, being loved, receiving love, and giving love are the same thing. So you can either be receiving a lot of love from somebody, or you can be giving a lot of love to somebody. Either way works to activate oxytocin. Playing with a dog, playing with a baby, holding hands, hugging your loved ones. Hugging is the reason I kept coming back to Unity, because nobody was hugging me. And I can feel, I call it the oxytocin cascade. Jim and I sometimes, like first thing in the morning, we'll have a 30-second hug. And we'll just stand there and hug. It's like forever. It goes on forever. And I can feel, good feelings spreading all over my body. And, I forgot to tell you about this about the brain and versus the mind. The brain, where the mind is created, is an organ of your body. And I don't know why we have tried so hard to separate the mind from the body. What's happened in medicine is, what's happened in insurance is you can, if you stick a spike through your brain, they'll cover that. But if you're low on oxytocin, they won't treat that. They won't cover that. You got to take care of that on your own. Same as the ears and the eyes. What the hell? It's all one. It's all one thing. So, endorphin, the painkiller, this is that principle, that we're just one piece. And the brain is telling us a story about our body. I can't tell you how many people I've seen in the past week that are completely bent over. They're walking bent over. And I don't know what happened to them, but when that thing happened, they didn't fix it. They just kept getting more and more. That's not going to happen to me. I'm standing up, thank you. Standing up, I'm watching my Bob and Brad videos. If you don't watch Bob and Brad, you owe it to yourself to watch Bob and Brad. They will tell you how to fix it. But exercising is only one way to release endorphins. The other ways are laughing. Just laughing. Do you watch funny YouTube videos? All the time. Just the topic of babies and French bulldogs alone will have you laughing, right? Dark chocolate. I don't prefer dark chocolate, but it's okay. And essential oils. I'm not sure about that. But I know that laughing, when you're laughing, you're not concentrating on your pain. And you can go ahead and do whatever you need to do. Get some body work. Go do some stretching exercise. Whatever. The painkiller. Rather than just so this is my theory. You get injured and you find out that, standing like this, stretching out, kind of hurts. Or it hurts your shoulders. So you find a way that you can stand that doesn't hurt. And then all of a sudden that hurts. This is my theory. It's not medically proven, but it's just what I think. So serotonin, the mood stabilizer. How many of us are susceptible to a little dip in our energy level? A little dip in our outlook on life. Maybe a little tiny bit of depression. Right? People who like to read books, I find, are susceptible to a little bit of depression. I don't think there's a one-to-one correlation. I think it's a coincidence. But if you're a reader, you're gonna have some times when you're just like, ugh, whatever. So that's when you do the mood stabilizer, and this is where meditating comes in. A lot of times I've got many things going on in my brain at the same time, and if I can just what it is for me is not necessarily getting to a certain plane of consciousness or blocking out my my thoughts or anything like that. It's just stopping the sensory input, the visual sensory input. Just stop it and direct the ears somewhere else. That's why I do that ocean breath, because it's just you might want to listen to some very calming music to do that. Running, any runners in here? No. No, but if you could run, that would be good. But just being in nature, just going to the park. Oh my gosh. We have so many wonderful parks in Austin, but y'all have that river. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. And just like standing by it. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Just go out there and stand and watch the water, That's going to release serotonin and you're going to feel better. And then the rewarding chemical. This is sort of the American thing to do. Complete a task. If you can, complete a task that you started a long time ago. I think the older the project, the more reward you get from finishing it. I took a bunch of stuff this week out of my closet. So years ago, Marilyn was already on her own. She had this room, and it had just stuff in it. It was basically a storage room. Cleared it out, decorated it, cleared out the closet, put my stuff in the closet, and now the closet is full, and I can't walk in there. So I took a whole bunch of stuff and got rid of it. Took some to the Goodwill, sold some. That took me through 2 whole days. I just felt great on dopamine. Now, dopamine is also the reward that you get from addictive behavior. And I must say, I wish Diana was here, I must say that I believe my fondness for BTS has reached an addiction level. So I'm pulling back a little bit. I did a conscious thing last night and didn't go to a party of a bunch of other people like me. So I'm trying to yes, there are other musicians in the world. They're not the only ones. And there are other Koreans too. I mean, I can still. Eating food, eat something good. Man, if you're going to have to eat anyway, make sure it's the best stuff you can get. Go to a nice restaurant, for heaven's sake. Where is the one that said self-care? Oh, dopamine. Doing self-care activities. Now, I want you to tell me what your favorite self-care activity is.
Taking a nice, long, hot, soaky bath.
Oh, a nice, long, hot, soaky bath. Wonderful. Do you use bubble bath or? Uh-huh.
Lush.
Smells good.
Lots of lush.
That's everything, yeah.
Essential oils.
Huh?
Swimming.
Swimming. Where do you swim?
Well, wherever.
Where there's water. Where there's deep water, yeah. Do you just splash around or do you do laps and stuff? Or?
Well, I'm a member of a gym that has a pool, but I don't go very often these days. But I really enjoy it.
Yeah, when you do go.
Yeah.
So one might ask.
I do intentional movements in the swimming pool.
Cool.
It feels great.
Yeah, it does. Water is like relief from gravity. Gravity is so present. It gets more and more present all the time, it seems like. So what about you, Jim?
Well, I was just thinking about it, and I think I probably, when I've done a small amount of masonry work and I come home and I say, I laid 3 bricks today. I was so proud of myself.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Not enough to make you really tired, but.
No, it's like completion of something.
Yeah, invigorating. Marilyn, you got anything?
Yeah, well, it's cleaning for me.
Oh,
Or getting coffee with a friend.
getting coffee with a friend. Oh, isn't that wonderful? I find there are certain friends that if I haven't seen them for a while, I'm just starving for them. And when you actually go and you sit with them and drink coffee, yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And it gives you the oxytocin,
Yeah,
too.
it's sort of a
Uh-huh.
balloon,
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else?
Just going for a long walk.
Yeah, yeah. So by long, do you measure by minutes or miles?
Well, I don't measure at all.
Okay. You just go till you're done.
I just focus where my end point is going to be and walk.
Okay, yeah, good idea. Forget all those metrics. That's great. I have a little dog. Well, she's not a little dog. She's a big dog, and she's not a very good dog. She's naughty. She's a bit naughty, which means that we disagree on some of her behavior. But she is the best nap taker. She will come and get on the bed. I sleep on top of the mattress on top of the bedspread when I take a nap. And she will come and lie down next to me and we'll just, it's not like any heavy duty cuddling. It's just like there's somebody there, that's with me, that loves me. So, yeah, dogs are pretty useful. They really are our best friends in the animal world. They really are. Okay, anything else y'all want to add? So what I'm challenging you to do is pick a thing to do every day. Not like, oh, I've got to do this, Lissie told me I'm gonna have to do this. She'll be mad at me if I don't. No, not like that. But like, give yourself every day one of these things to do, and then and notice how you feel differently. And what I think happens, where was it that they said, the vision, the Unity Worldwide Ministries vision, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. So what that says to me is, if you have a spiritual awakening, it affects me. And if I then also have a spiritual awakening, then it affects somebody else. We affect each other in every interaction. It can be like the smallest encounter with somebody else. It's going to affect us. Because number one, we're all one. And number two, the brain is looking for a story. And my brain tells the story that most of the people in the world are nice. And there are a few bullies who are kind of making trouble. I don't know what their story is. But most of the people I meet are nice. And so that's what I find when I go out. People are nice to me. And they think I'm nice. So, there was there was one thing that is not in this list that was in another list that I saw, and that is giving compliments to somebody. And I think that it releases oxytocin, the love hormone, when you say something nice to somebody else. And again, it's that idea that what I give is what I receive. That's kind of a counterintuitive. It's more blessed to give than receive. I think it's the same thing. Because we are one, we are giving and receiving at the same time. So, if for some reason you don't feel like you deserve to be happy or loved or whatever, then love somebody else until you can believe it, because you're going to receive it. It's going to splash back on you. All right, so that's all I have to say about that. Our brains, if I had one thing that I wish without fail you would take away from this, is that you can work your brain the same way you work any organ or muscle of your body, right? So you know when you drink a whole bunch of water, you're helping your urinary tract and your kidneys and all that stuff. When you do these activities and release these hormones, you're helping your brain. And I know a lot of us want to exercise our brain, like we do puzzles all the time. We're afraid that we're going to lose our mental acuity. It's not that important. What's really important is to be happy. So we do our puzzles sitting very close together on the couch. And I have a feeling that is, number one, we're completing tasks, and we're also releasing oxytocin. I keep dropping stuff. So anything that you can do to make yourself happier, I want you all to be very, very happy. So now India is going to do special music. All right. What a wonderful